It's 3 a.m. You told yourself you'd sleep an hour ago. Your thumb moves before your brain even decides to move it. The screen lights up your face in the dark. You tell yourself this is just a habit. It isn't. The real answer is far stranger. Your brain was not built for notifications. It was built for something much older. Something that kept your ancestors alive for 200,000 years before a single phone ever existed. And that ancient system is still running right now, underneath your sheets, in the blue light of your screen. Here's the strange part. You are not addicted to your phone. You are addicted to not knowing what's on it. Picture a forager 40,000 years ago walking through tall grass. She doesn't know if the next bush holds ripe berries or nothing at all. She doesn't know if the rustle ahead is a rabbit or a predator. Her brain has to place a bet every few seconds. Go forward or don't. And that uncertainty, that not knowing, is exactly what kept her alive. A brain that only cared about certain rewards would starve. A brain that stayed curious about uncertain ones would eat. This is where the story gets scientific. In the 1950s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran a now famous experiment with pigeons. He built a box with a lever. Press the lever. Sometimes a pellet of food drops out. Not every time. Randomly. He called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. And something unexpected happened. The pigeons that got food every single press eventually got bored and stopped. But the pigeons that got food unpredictably, they pressed the lever obsessively, thousands of times. Even when the food stopped coming entirely, they kept pressing, hoping the next one would be the one. Sound familiar? Your phone runs on the exact same schedule. You pull it out not knowing if there's a message, a like, a notification, or nothing at all. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's something. And your brain, the same brain built by 200,000 years of foraging in tall grass, cannot tell the difference between a berry bush and a group chat. It just knows. Uncertainty means check again. But there's something even stranger going on beneath that. It isn't really about the reward at all. It's about the moment right before it. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, who spent decades studying stress and reward in primates at Stanford, found something that surprised even him. Dopamine, the chemical everyone blames for cravings, doesn't spike when you get the reward. It spikes right before. In the anticipation. In the space between reaching for your phone and seeing what's on the screen. That half second of not knowing is the most chemically active moment of the entire experience. The reward itself, the actual text message or the actual like, barely registers compared to the reaching, which means the notification isn't the addictive part. The wondering is. Now here's the twist nobody wants to hear. Your phone company knows this. Every app you open was designed by people who understood Skinner's pigeons better than you understand your own habits. The pull to refresh gesture. The slight delay before likes appear. The red dot that tells you something is waiting, but not what. These aren't accidents. They are variable ratio schedules, built by hand, aimed directly at the oldest reward system in your skull. But that's not even the part that should worry you most at 3 a.m. Harvard sleep researcher Charles Czeisler spent years studying what happens to your body when light hits your eyes at night. He found that the blue wavelength coming off your screen doesn't just keep you awake out of stimulation. It actively suppresses melatonin, the hormone your brain releases to signal that night has arrived. For nearly all of human history, darkness was the only signal your body needed. The sun went down, melatonin rose, and sleep came. Your ancestors never had to fight a glowing rectangle for the right to feel tired. Now you do, every single night. So here you are, wide awake at 3 a.m., thumb scrolling, chemically primed by uncertainty, chasing anticipation instead of reward, while blue light quietly tells your brain that the sun hasn't set yet, even though it set 6 hours ago. Two ancient systems, both doing exactly what they evolved to do, and both working against you at the exact same moment. Think about that forager again. When she found the berry bush, or didn't, the search ended. There was resolution. The uncertainty closed. She either ate or she moved on. But your phone almost never lets the search end. There's always another scroll, another refresh, another few seconds of not knowing. You're standing in front of an infinite bush that never fully reveals whether it's empty or full. That's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Your brain isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It just has no idea it's being fed an unlimited version of a system that was only ever meant to handle scarcity. For most of human history, uncertainty was rare and valuable. You couldn't just generate more of it. A day might bring one real moment of not knowing. Will the hunt succeed? Will the storm pass? Will the group I traveled with find water? Real stakes, real waiting, real resolution eventually. Now uncertainty is manufactured every 4 seconds by an app that costs nothing to refresh. And your dopamine system, the very thing that once made you resourceful and alert, has no built-in limiter for a world where the bush never runs empty. So what do you actually do with that, lying there in the dark at 3 a.m.? You could try to fight the software, new settings, grayscale screens, notifications turned off. Those help, a little. But the deeper move is understanding what's actually happening in your chest when you feel that pull. That restlessness isn't weakness, it's 40,000 years of survival instinct, mistaking a glowing rectangle for a bush that might feed you. Once you can name it, you can catch it earlier. You can notice the reach before it becomes the scroll. Because the forager in the grass eventually learned something important too. Not every rustle needs chasing. Not every bush needs checking. Sometimes the smartest thing her brain could do was walk past the uncertainty and go home. So it's 3 a.m. again. Your thumb hovers over the screen, and for a second, you actually notice it hovering. You feel that old familiar tug, the one that once meant food, once meant safety, once meant survival. And this time, you understand exactly what it is. Not a habit, not weakness, just an ancient hunter, still waiting in the dark, still checking the bush. You put the phone down, and for the first time tonight, the waiting stops.